Chapter 3. How blockchain works. The primary element that makes Bitcoin so unique as a digital currency and payment network is its underlying blockchain foundation. So let's talk about how blockchain makes Bitcoin possible using principles of the universe like math and science without the need for accountants, bookkeepers, banks, or governments. The most plain and simple way to understand the word blockchain is by separating the word block from the word chain. So imagine a list of transactions showing payments sent to and from people getting listed one after the other as they occur. Then, once a maximum amount of transaction data in the list has been reached, the list of records becomes a block of data. This block of data is then added behind a previous block of transaction data linked together with a chain. Nice. So the word blockchain simply represents groups of transaction data linked together. So the most plain and simple explanation of the Bitcoin blockchain is that it's records of Bitcoin transaction data stored on a network of computers around the world. And there are three pillars of blockchain technology that make it unique: decentralization, transparency, and immutability. Pillar 1, decentralization. The word decentralization in blockchain is twofold. One, it means that instead of data being stored in one place, like one computer in one office, data is stored on multiple computers around the world. And two, decentralization also means that no one person, corporation, government, authority, or any entity controls any aspect of the data recording and storage process. For example, currently we have a central banking system controlled by the government, a central authority who issues fiat that can reside in accounts controlled by Bank of America or similar centralized entities. Each of these entities are in complete control over where and how their data is recorded, stored, and managed. They can decide what types of servers to use, where the servers are located, and how their security protocols work. In contrast, blockchain allows transaction data management to be decentralized on a network of computers around the world using open source software. And any changes to the blockchain protocol have to go through a consensus process that no one person or company or government has control over to protect the integrity of the network. So instead of a centralized entity like the IRS deciding how and where their data is stored on certain servers in certain locations, a decentralized blockchain network is distributed on many devices all over the world. That is the essence of the decentralization pillar. Pillar 2, transparency. Transparency in blockchain describes how transaction data is recorded on a public ledger that is available for everyone to see. This ledger of transactions is saved on a network of computers around the world, which makes it impossible for the data to be changed or altered. To better understand the value of transparency in data recording, storage, and management, let's compare these two scenarios. Currently, most citizens of the United States do not know how every stimulus dollar for coronavirus aid was spent. We just have to take the government's word for it or draw our own conclusions from media stories. And even if the government had to show us where every penny went, it would be very easy for them to forge or manipulate any data they chose to share with us, since they control their own data and create their own reports. You can see how this scenario is not exactly transparent nor trustworthy. So let's imagine a different scenario where all U.S. citizens had access to a live running ledger where every single stimulus dollar was spent by the government at any moment in time. Basically, everyone could see a full disclosure of how our government is managing our money. And this scenario is more trustworthy and transparent, the second pillar of blockchain technology. Pillar 3, immutability. Immutability means that the data recorded and stored on the blockchain cannot be changed, forged, or altered. This is achieved through math and computer science, more specifically cryptography and blockchain hashing processes. If you would like to watch a more in-depth video explaining what blockchain is and why it was developed, so to recap, blockchain uses math and computer science to record and store data in a way that ensures once the new data is verified, it is unmodifiable, it's distributed across a vast network of computers around the world so it's hard to destroy, and no one person or entity controls the data or network, creating a transparent environment. And Bitcoin is a use case of this blockchain technology. Its use being a digital currency that people can use as a form of payment to send to and from each other, or hold as a store of value, similar to gold. Nice. Now that you are familiar with some of blockchain's important features, let's talk about some of the technical details specific to how Bitcoin works.